Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning a bit to our lecturer, Dr. Izham. Okay, today our group nunmurina, will present about how accredited laboratory has been done according to ISO 17025. Okay, before that, I will introduce our teammate. Uh, myself is Muhammad Nabil bin Sabtu. My other teammate is Adam Syafiq bin Faizal Ibrahim, Muhammad Zuhaika bin Adnan, Nur Hamizah binti Abdul Hadi, and Aisyah binti Muhammad Khair. Okay, moving on. Okay, what is ISO 17025? 17025 ISO is a accreditation at a company level that is established by International Organization for Standardization, which is stand for ISO, that is titled as General Requirement for the Competence of Testing and Calibration Laboratories. If the laboratories didn't apply it, thus the laboratories cannot be accredited. Means it is important for the laboratories to get the ISO 17025 because if it didn't be accredited, any result that have been done by the laboratory will not be accepted by any suppliers or authorities because the result might what can be trusted or didn't be done accordingly to ISO 17025. Okay, on. Uh, Now accredited laboratories use ISO 17025 2017 version, replacing the 2005 version. Okay, in 2005 version, there are two clauses with mandatory requirement, while 2017 have five clauses. 2005 it changed from clause 4 to 5 only to 2017, which is clause 4 to clause 8 of mandatory requirement. 2005 has greater number of mandatory procedures, while 17 have fewer. 2005 have less reference to required process, while 2017 has greater reference to process. 2005 has less reference to mandatory record, and 2017 has greater emphasis on evidence containing record. Requirements that are gone from 2005 is preventive action, quality manual, and quality manager. Requirement that have been added to 2017 is action to address risks and opportunities where it is more risk-based done than 2005 which is more procedure-based, and also statement of conformity and decision rule where it, each laboratory must document and what make a decision rule and apply when determining a result to confirm its application or standard. Uh, each decision rule that have been done must based on the risk level regarding firstly accepting or rejecting the result as well as measurement of uncertainty of the result of the test before document it to conform to its specification. Okay, that's all from me. I will pass to my next teammate. Okay, thank you.
There are 8 general requirements for the competence of testing and calibration laboratories based on accredited laboratory according to ISO 17025. First is the scope. This document specifies the general requirements for the competence, impartiality, and consistent operation of laboratories. And this document is applicable to all organizations performing laboratory activities regardless of the number of personnel. Laboratory customers, regulatory authorities, organizations and schemes using peer assessments, accreditation bodies, and others use this document in confirming or recognizing the competence of laboratories. Second is the normative references. The following documents are referred to in the text in such a way that some or all of the content constitutes requirements of this document. For dated references, only the edition cited applies. And for undated references, the latest edition of the referenced document, including any amendments, applies. The third one is the terms and definitions. So it is divided into 9 subheadings. First is the impartiality. So the presence of objectivity. Note 1 to entry. Objectivity means that conflicts of interest do not exist or are resolved so as not to adversely influence subsequent activities of the laboratory. Other terms that are useful in conveying the element of impartiality include freedom from conflict of interest, freedom from bias, lack of prejudice, neutrality, fairness, open-mindedness, even-handedness, detachment, balance. The second one is the complaint, expression of dissatisfaction by any person or organization to a laboratory relating to the activities or results of that laboratory where a response is expected. The third one is the interlaboratory comparison, organization, performance, and evaluation of measurements or tests on the same or similar items by two or more laboratories in accordance with predetermined conditions. The fourth one, intralaboratory comparison organizations, performance and evaluation of measurements or tests on the same or similar items with the same laboratory in accordance with predetermined conditions. The fifth one, proficiency testing evaluation of participant performance against pre-established criteria by means of interlaboratory comparisons. The sixth one, a laboratory body that performs one or more of the following activities: testing, calibration, sampling associated with subsequent testing or calibration. Next is a decision rule that describes how measurement uncertainty is accounted for when stating conformity with a specified requirement. The 8.1 verification provision of objective evidence that a given item fulfills specified requirements. And the last one, validation verification, where the specified requirements are adequate for an intended use.
Next, we have number 4, general requirements, 4.1, impartiality, 4.2, confidentiality. Number 5, we have structural requirements, 5.1, the laboratory shall be a legal entity or a defined part of a legal entity that is legally responsible for its laboratory activities. 5.2, the laboratory shall identify the management that has the overall responsibility for the laboratory. 5.3, the laboratory shall define and document the range and the laboratory activities for which is confirmed with this document. 5.4, the laboratory activity shall be carried out in such a way as to meet the requirements of these documents. The laboratory's customer and the regulatory authorities and other organization providing recognition. 5.5, the laboratory shall define the organization and the management structure of the laboratory, specify the responsibility, authority, and interrelationship of all personnel who manage, perform, or verify work affecting the result of laboratory activities, and document its procedure to the extent necessary to ensure that the consistent application of its laboratory activities and the validity of the results. 5.6. The laboratory shall have personnel that who is irrespective of the other responsibility and have the authority and resources that need to carry out their duties, including implementation, maintenance, and improvement of the management system, identification of the deviation of the management system or from the procedures for performing the laboratory activities, initiation of action to prevent or minimize such deviation, reporting to laboratory management on the performance of the management system, and assuring the effectiveness of the laboratory activities. For 5.7, the laboratory management shall ensure that the communication takes place regarding the effectiveness of the management system and the importance of meeting customers' requirements. And the integrity of the management system is maintained when it comes to the management system that are planned and implemented. For number 6, resource requirements. Generally, the laboratory shall have available the personnel, facilities, equipment, systems, and support services that is necessary to manage and perform the laboratory activities. 6.2, personnel. 6.3 Facilities and environmental conditions, 6.4 Equipment, 6.5 Meteorological traceability, and 6.6 Externally provided products and services.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Adam Shafiq bin Faisal Ibrahim. My metric number 198410. So I will continue about laboratory accreditation according to ISO 17025. So this is the number 7 of the laboratory accreditation. Number 7 is process requirement. The thing in process requirement is 7.1 review of requests, tender and contracts. 7.2 selection, verification and validation of method. 7.3 sampling. 7.4 handling of test of or calibration item. 7.5 technical record. 7.6 evaluation of measurement uncertainty. 7.7 ensuring the validity of result. 7.8 reporting of result. 7.9 complaint. 7.10 non-conforming work. 7.11 control of data and information. All these 11 topic about process requirement is to show what is the requirement of we as the lab assistant or lab user must do for the laboratory session. Next, for the number 8, management system requirement. 8.1 option. 8.2 management system documentation. 8.3 Control of Management System Document. 8.4 Control of Records. 8.5 Action to address risks and opportunities. 8.6 Improvement. 8.7 Corrective action. 8.8 Internal audits, and 8.9 Management review. All of this is the management system in the lab, and this management system will make the lab session going through smoothly. Next, I will talk about the PDCA cycle. What is PDCA cycle? P for plan, D for do, C for check, and A for act. The PDCA cycle on the implementation of ISO/IEC 17025 double dots 2017 can lead to customer trust, apply consistency to laboratory operational activities, and produce valid calibration or testing results. Next, I will talk about the plan. Plan related to related to impartiality, confidentiality, structural requirement, and personal, facility and environmental condition, equipment, metrological traceability, and external provided product and service. Impartiality is important for each individual in the laboratory management system, so every action taken does not affect the validity of calibration or testing results. Each individual also needs to keep confidentiality both for internal and external parties. Several components are needed to carry out all activity in the laboratory, as inside clause 5 regarding the structural requirement. Components such as the legal basis of laboratory, the organizational structure, personnel, job description of personnel, and effective communication processes. All of these requirement is for the plan. This is to make a smooth plan for our lab session according to the ISO 17025. That's all for me. I will pass to another presenter. Thank you.
Next, for the do step in PDA cycle based on ISO 17025. The do step is related to the calibration or testing activities and supporting activities. The clauses include in do step review or request, tenders and contracts, selection, verification and validation of methods, sampling, handling of test or calibration items, technical records, evaluation of measurement uncertainty, ensuring the validity of results, reporting of results, complaints, non-conforming work, control of data and information management, management system documentation, control of management system documents, and lastly, control of records. For the review process, it is done by looking at the availability of calibration or testing scope, the calibration or testing method used, the measuring range of measurement that can be accommodated, and the value of measurement uncertainty that can be achieved. For a process of evaluating uncertainty of measurement, it is carried out in the report of the calibrating or testing results. For the calibration results to have valid values, a quality assurance process that can be carried out internally or externally is needed. We can improve the laboratory performance and quality of calibration results by accommodate customer complaints and non-conformity from other source. And there is also a control process for documented information consisting of documents, data, and records. Next, for the check step. In check step, it is serves to monitor the laboratory management system activities carried out from the previous step and to see its effectiveness. For this step, it is carried out to see conformity in relation to the implementation of the ISO or IEC 17025-2017 standard. For the conformity concept at this step, it is divided into two. We see the first conformity between reference documents or standards and documented information, and the second one, conformity between documented information and practice. For the first conformity concept, it can be interpreted that the documented information from the laboratory must be in line with the reference document. For the second concept of conformity, it can be interpreted that the practice carried out by all laboratory management system personnel must be in accordance with documented information. Non-conformity can occur if there is difference between documented information with a reference document or standards. And then the non-conformity will require corrective action in accordance with clause X.7 of ISO 17025-2017. And lastly, in PDA cycle is X step. At this step, there are three clauses include, which are action to address risks and opportunities, improvement, and corrective action. For this step, it is a proactive response from the laboratory for eliminate non-conformity, identify the risks that can occur from laboratory activities, and identify the opportunities that can be done. As I said before, the non-conformity required the corrective action in the laboratory management system so that the credibility of laboratory will be maintained. At this step, also there are action to minimize or eliminate risk and also action to increase the available opportunities. Opportunities here means condition that can improve the quality of calibration results, so they need to be raised, maintained, and upgrade. And lastly, all action, corrective action, action to minimize or eliminate risk, and action to realize the opportunity will be carried out at the X step. Input to the plan step for the next cycle, and the cycle will continue. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.